come up?
Absolutely.
Mark? You want to come on up and discuss the...
Again, making themselves somebody vouching for the fact that they went through the process. And let me say this much also. Supporters of the bill obviously were, in the last governor's race, were Bill Brady, staunch conservative, Matt Murphy, staunch conservative, Kirk Dillard, staunch conservative, Dan Croft on his radio was completely in favor of it. Jim Ryan, a good friend of mine, was very much in favor of it. So out of the last governor's race, all the major conservatives were very much in favor of this. And I appreciate Mr. Kelly as well. I think he's done a lot of wonderful things, and I've supported him in the past, and I differ with him on this issue. Let me tell you something. This is a long issue, I think, to prioritize as far as conservatives. I mean, we're in a lot of trouble. Cardinal George said not long ago that he expects to die in his bed. He expects that his successor will die in prison, and his successor will die against the wall. I mean, we're going down a real dangerous path, folks. And our freedoms are very much at stake. And I would say that, good minds can differ on this one.
Well, 18 states apparently had tried this, and then 16 of them have rescinded it. And that seems like that's a more than adequate test. What did they find out in those 16 states that caused them to rescind what they had originally approved?
Colonel, I am not, familiar with all of the states that tried it and what have you, and I don't know if the accuracy of that, and I don't question you. I think you're a man of great integrity, but they did look at other states and where it had failed, and one of the failures in other states was that the driver's certificate was potentially used in other arenas.
Well, Sheriff, don't you think it's still just incremental, though? That this is just one step, and that, the story we heard earlier from the earlier speaker was that many of the safeguards and the provisions in the bill that would have safeguarded it have been watered down or removed, and that the ultimate bill may turn out to be nothing more but another slap in the face to people who believe in the rule of law.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ultimately, I believe in the rule of law. I mean, but we have to be honest about that. When we talk about the rule of law, a couple things. One, our country had rule of law that women didn't have the right to vote, minorities didn't. And, Rosa Parks caught the rule of law. I mean, you can go on. Nazi Germany was the rule of law, and so ultimately, some laws, are unjust in some sense. I think we have to be realistic about where we're going in terms of immigration on these issues. If we think that we're going to somehow have this strong rule of law and people are going to start getting put on buses and what have you.
Well, let's talk about that issue. How many unexecuted deportation orders are there floating around in the United States? Isn't it the better part of 1 million?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
those are court orders.
Yeah, I don't know. That's his administrative agency that makes those determinations as to, whether or not there's a deportation or not. And, some of those stats they keep very close to the vest, so we don't know all of them.
When some laws aren't enforced, it makes everybody lose respect for all laws.
Right, but, like I said, we could be looking at real fast a law that says secret, conservative organizations to meet in a public place that are not part of a larger political party are hereby now illegal.
There were a couple of things that the sheriff said that I found very disturbing. The fact that the sheriff did not research this issue well enough to know that 16 of the 18 states that passed it have repealed it. Why? Because of fraud. The fact that the sheriff would bring up Catholicism. I'm a Catholic. I spent 4 years in the Catholic seminary. I studied in Rome for a year. I can tell you that there are two schools of thought on Catholics. The majority of Catholics believe that America is a sovereign country and that we should protect our borders and that we should be patriotic Americans. Okay? There is a school of theology and Catholic theology called social justice. This is a communist-inspired theology that people like Father Flager promote, and essentially, I don't personally believe that it is Catholicism.
Let me just say, I'm gonna interrupt, all right, okay, I'm
Please
gonna interrupt. Number one.
Although I didn't interrupt you.
Okay,
I didn't
number one,
interrupt you.
Doreen will tell you that I did not come out here in this setting. This was not set up this way,
Right.
number one, okay?
Yeah.
Right, is that right, Doreen?
That's why
And I wasn't asked to be, you know, debating or anything else,
No.
and I wasn't even prepared to talk about this.
Right.
So number one, okay? Number two, you want to attack the Catholic Church, the bishops came out unanimously in favor of this.
I did not attack
Okay,
the Catholic
so you
Church.
are-
I am a Catholic.
Okay, you know,
You can't get your
you know,
facts straight on
I mean,
that.
that's fine, you know, there's a lot of people that pick and choose what they believe as far as the church teaches, but to attack, you're attacking the magisterium, you're not attacking Father Flager. The bishops came out unanimously in favor of this bill.
First of all, I did not interrupt you. I was under the impression that you were up to speed on the issue, considering you endorsed it. If anybody who doesn't understand that you cannot have a sovereign country without secure borders should not be carrying a badge and a gun, in my opinion. In Illinois, we have leaders who want to take your guns. They want to give illegals driver's licenses. They want to redefine marriage. They want to destroy the Catholic Church. They want to spread gambling and disease. And that is just the chairman of the Republican Party.
That he wasn't really prepared.
Sure.
We're not gonna solve the immigration problem in this room. They can't even solve it at the White House in the Oval Office. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray. I truly appreciate it. And anyone who'd like updates on how we're going to try to repeal this bill, we're going to pass around a quick sign-in sheet. We'll at least keep you updated on what the status of the bill is, or what the status of the law is, and our efforts to repeal it. And thank you again for having me.
Okay.